Okay. I think we're... One second. I think I've realized the problem. Is this better? I think it's just slightly better, it seems. Yeah, I was using a different snowball. And I think that snowball was thicker compared to my mic. I'll give it an extra second. Okay. Also connection. Okay, no, we're good. Okay. Let's move over to here. Cool. That's gonna look weird, but okay. Granted. I will add. Granted, it won't show the entire screen, but I'm going to be doing some drawing today. In this case, we're going to be making a Borzoi. So I'm going to do 720 by 720. Okay. Where to start? I guess first of all, I'm going to make sure I know which Borzoi. Let's look it up as a GIF, because because I'm going to be making this animated is the thing. I like that. Something like it's turning its head to face the camera. Not exactly like that. Okay, at the very least, there is now a metric. Okay, I guess first let's get a. I think it's actually going to be pretty hard to draw Borzoi just from scratch. Let's move these all down to. Let's move them down to favorites. Oh, do I not have the other? Oh, this should be fine. That needs to be far more rounded. I guess I'm trying to do it the other way compared to the actual Borzoi. So, I guess for record, the Borzoi image I'm using is pointing, like, where am I? There. It's pointing that way. Oh. You know, let's start off with actually like a blue sketch, something to base it off of. Hold on, I'm gonna. Oh, hold on. Okay, thank you, Sarabut, for clearing that. But let's go ahead and remove that on YouTube as well. Where'd my mouse go? I can't. Why can't I? Okay. There we go. For whatever reason, my mouse was just stuck there. Okay. Move it a bit more towards here. Oh, I see how they're doing it. Hold on. Okay, not like that, but okay. I guess this will probably be like the front facing of it then. Need relatively small flopping ears. A bit further out. Comes up. That one doesn't quite work. Need it to be a little bit smaller. Okay. Because I'll also get a blue layer of this like half opacity. Like that. So that shows it halfway. I'm gonna go kind of like this. I think I might need to make it a little bit thinner at the top then, actually. Like this one is probably gonna be the... Well, it needs to be about as long. Just I'll make the bottom a little bit. More like the... There. Okay. Do I want to add the neck? I think it's something with like the neck, or let's move them just slightly down. Hold on. Or are you? Let's remove the first, this bottom layer. Focus mostly on this one. Just want to find a simple... I want to find one of them just looking to the side. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Let's actually look for... Didn't I do it for you, Borzoi? Come on. Need to find one that's looking to the side is the thing. I need images. Oh, come on. I didn't think it'd be hard to find an image of a Borzoi looking. Borzoi looking to the side. Need a better. This image might do it. Kinda. Okay, I definitely need to. I might just start over with this and look at solely the reference image. Okay. Let's just go for all. Fairly wide back of head. I guess that is the thing. In an actual Borzoi, it typically slims down the snout. I don't think it really does in any of the meme versions. I can work with that. And then add the ear. Yeah, fairly floppy ears, especially to the side. Let's go like this. Okay, eye is a bit more forward. It doesn't really look right because I didn't draw it. Hold on. Could I draw from... Would I draw from one of the animated ones? Okay. Okay. I think I can see how I can work this. I think I do need to make the snout a lot thinner. And then... that's not a lot thinner. And then I can add eyes in. Well, this one's eyes are fairly big. Hold on. gonna remove this layer for now. I'm gonna add this layer. Copying this from down, mirror it. And then I'm just gonna do this. Give some proportions. Okay. Then remove this, and then try to sync this one up to here. Tip and then edge of the nose. That is where the eye, if I proportion it correctly, would be. And that's where the back of the head is. Granted, I'm using another artist as a reference point. So I can do it. I can fudge around a bit with proportions. I'm going to get rid of this bottom line, so that way I'm not confusing myself. What happens if I shorten it to match a bit better? Apparently the ear is... Okay, what if instead I lengthen this to match this? Okay, also I do need to... They had an eye on both sides. I might just keep the eye, well... The thing is, if going off these guidelines, it would mean the eye is about as big as the actual snout. That's not really correct. Okay, to some degree, the guidelines are messing me up. Oh, I can... It does have a neck. That from like here. Come here, let's make that more into the back. The other artist has a bit more of a straight line. I may keep it like that. If I angle it a bit better, it might work. What about like this? Strangely, it makes it feel a bit too... That's a bit better. Okay. Let's add the snout. Okay, this might just have to work for now. Get it to half opacity. Let's see if I can't improve on this at all. Yeah, let's make the ears. Up down more like this. Read the lower part very quickly. Need to I may need to make the eye its own separate layer is the thing. Yeah, I'll make the eye its own. So hold on, how do they do their eye? They kind of make it a bit... I guess it's a bit more of a perfect circle. And they kind of point it upwards. And then they have it pointed like that. Let's shave that down. The slightly thinner snout works a bit better. I may even make it even thinner. Let's remove that. Then let's remove... Oop, wrong layer. Definitely need to erase this little smudge here. Okay. As well as these couple smudges here. I may need to delete this entire line, like from there to there. Let's also remove this patch of the snout, and then redraw it from there. That weirdly looks too straight. No, hold on. Let's actually remove this part. Let's make it just slightly bigger. I'm gonna move this to a different paint layer. they also add, like, equals here. This one's significantly smaller. There we go. New paint layer. It's a bit more of a tan, like a beige. What's this one is? Borzois are usually a shade of either white or tan, it seems. I'll probably make it tan just so that it doesn't completely blend in like a light background. Hold on. Like, the neck is gonna be about the same. However, I'm actually gonna do, like, the ear and snout on a separate layer. The thing is, I think I'm gonna use the neck. Like, the neck is gonna basically stay the same the entire time. I'm actually gonna have to update the credits though on both Twitch and YouTube. That day is not today though. Oh, maybe today. Who knows? Let's clean up the edges. Didn't really bleed out as much as I thought it would, but I definitely cleaned up the edges. Just little things like these, but those still show when I go to animate it. Oops. I want to actually make more room for myself by erasing stuff that shouldn't need to be erased. Oh, did I never? Oh, I see. I think that's the only issue with doing it on multiple layers. Sometimes you can end up Okay. Okay. Now, let's start doing a little bit of mouse work. I should probably make it a bit more of a. So I want to make it the nose a bit more of a shade of brown, because like most Borzois, I think are black, have a black nose. Yeah, I'll make it black. Ooh, hold on. I could actually use this pen to add a bit of extra texture to the nose. It doesn't really show up, except around the edges of that one. How about you? Not really. You. Nah. You'll work, though. I may just need to add, like... I may just need to go over it with, like, a texture brush or something. There is the nose. Let's add the coloring in for the eye. Okay. Then another one, this time white. There we go. That like the... I may want to make the second dot just slightly bigger. Hello. Let's move all of the parts of the eye. Let's make this dot smaller. Significantly smaller, in fact. That'll work a little bit better, I'd say. Although I may also want to adjust the other eye to also be a bit bigger. Yeah, I might want to do that as well. I think that's a bit too big, actually. With you, let's tone it down with you. I'll need to change color for this. Okay, that's better. That's better. I can work with that. Let's group these three. Oh, I can just duplicate the entire group. Okay. Let's save as... I'll save it to this folder as Borzoi Animated. Okay. Okay. Then I can let's actually let's have this layer on at cap so I can kind of gauge where I want things to be during the second frame. So I'm thinking okay. I wanted to turn the face to camera. I think by hold on. Let's actually create a I'm going to create a duplicate layer, make that one invisible, and then let's go perspective. That weirdly that kinda works. But I think I can work with it. Okay. Let's make a new layer and let's work with this. I'll need a second ear for sure. Ooh, I might actually want to... I'll lower the top ear so that it gives more... so that we can see more of the top of the head, and then add the second ear. Okay. The head is tilting, so that isn't out of the realm. What does it look like in perspective? I will definitely need to lower... yeah, I'll need to lower this ear. Even if just slightly. The other ear I can make a bit more of a lump, though. I definitely need to keep this about the same thickness of the... this would actually work fairly well. May need to make the ear a bit... let's make this all one line. Well, if this ear is being lowered, I might want to... Yeah, I might want to make the rounded edge of it lower as well. Not by much. But definitely enough. Okay. I don't think it has quite the same thickness as it should, though. Let's move that. The snout should actually be relatively the same thickness regardless. I think it just looks slightly thicker because of... I think it just looks slightly thicker because of the perspective warp. The nose will have to be, like... That also cannot slant. Well, if this is lowered, then so would the snout. Okay, so this needs to be... Obviously, it's closer to the camera, so it needs to be a bit longer. Okay. Let's remove that as well. I'll need to make the line straighter, but I... Oh, ooh, hold up. That does not look at all right. No, the ear needs to be changed. The ear needs to be changed to make the snout work. Or the snout needs to be changed so that it is... set that to 30. Either the ear or the snout needs to change to be a bit more pointed. Because the thing is, this looks like an in-between frame as is, rather than it just facing the camera. Which it honestly can work as an in-between frame. It definitely can work. It'll certainly look goofy, but it can work. But I would need to change. I need to change base. Well, not everything. And I can add a small line here to represent the other ear, now that the head is tilting. Okay. Need to go back. I also need to fix that line because it looks weird. How's the art going? I'm working through it. right now this is the in-between frame. I'm trying to make a Borzoi "Didn't I Do It For You" emote. Okay, thank you. Didn't notice that the lower power was hungry. Okay. I'm gonna group them together. I kind of want to get a comparison, though. I can set this to 100% opacity again. No, I think that looks a bit too weird. It actually shrunk. Hold on. I mean, I guess it's the in-between frame, so it doesn't really need to. It doesn't really matter as much as like the final frame, but still, it's been so long. Yeah, I am not paying. I'm not paying for Photoshop. So this was pretty much my best bet on PC. Okay. I'll need to keep the neck. Actually, can move the neck stuff down here and group them, because I'm gonna basically keep them throughout the entirety of the project. Okay. Then I can I will say, without the eye, the face looks something like something else. I see the problem. Oh, the second one also is just bad. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna move that entire group. Wait. Oh, actually, oh. Okay, hold on. There we go. I'll recolor that later. Right now, I need to... The snout needs to be thinner. The snout 100% just needs to be thinner. I mean, I guess. I'm gonna need to change the color back to black. Thinner and longer. Let's get rid of... Okay. Then... And... Now let's put the nose... Okay, it's the in-between frame. In between the nose fully facing the camera and facing like kind of aside. I want to make proportionate with the previous layer, you can just turn on layer and lower. Yeah. Oh, wrong one. That's a good point, and I did do it for, like, I did do it for that one, but it doesn't quite look right. Let's make this a bit longer. I'll need to round that out. There we go. I definitely need to round this out just a tad bit more. Just then, also you mentioned not wanting to pay for Photoshop. CSP is a one-time payment if you are ever interested. I mean, the thing is, Krita works fine for me. Granted, it's not the best one out there, and like I said, Studio Paint is probably better for like professional artists. But I've seen what people can make with Krita, and Lucia also uses Krita. It's the best free one, yeah. It's like wrong layer. It's like, I think all of the other ones are like on mobile specifically. It's like the best you can do is get a stylus for a tablet and hope that it like works in the short term. I mean, like anyone skilled enough can make some pretty good stuff even in like free-to-use mobile programs. It's just a lot easier to do it on a PC. Well, also, it depends on how new the tablet is. What drawing tablet are you using? So, I'm just using a fairly standard wired Wacom. Most popular apps are on mobile. I think the best ones are on PC, yeah. Right now I'm just using like a wired standard Wacom. That was like $40. Nothing too expensive. But that's really all I need it for. Let's also add a bit of color in the nose as well, and then color in a new layer. Hold on, now. Before I continue, I'm changing my mind. Wacom is an amazing brand. I used to be fiercely loyal until I wanted an upgrade to the critique display tablet I saw was over $100. I mean, for my purposes of just dumb stuff like this, the cheap ones are more than enough. I also completely misread that as 100 instead of 1,000, which is even more. Current display tablet was 200 and on par with the Wacom critique. Okay, if it works, it works. Okay, also need... that's the next. And then go back to here. Okay. We'll size this down just a little bit. I do have... Actually, I should probably actually get an artist's opinion on this. What is your opinion on, like, using pens with flow? Because while I like it fine enough, I do need to change the ink color. I will admit sometimes it can be weird with flow. So like pens that change size with how hard or soft you touch the pen to the tablet is essentially what I mean. Yeah, pen pressure. That's the better word. Oh no, that's on this one. It is still, yeah, at opacity. We also want to make a duplicate of the eye. And then mirror it horizontal. Hold on. Let's go back to the reference image very quickly. How did they do it? Yeah, they had it mirrored. Or this one did, at least. May need to downsize it a little bit at some point. I use pen pressure because it matches my art style perfectly, but it all depends on your preference. When giving it a try, I just don't like how it looks. I'm always ignore pen pressure. I use it for some pen, like, I have pen pressure on the paintbrush, the erasers, and stuff like that, but I don't have it for, like, the outline pen that I use. It makes it feel like I'm drawing on actual paper. I get that, yeah. I can see that. Is the second frame done? It's actually purpose use of pen pressure. Because like at a really small place, just to make sure that I'm not only getting that. There we go. I might have accidentally did it on the wrong layer, but that's fine. Okay, now for the straight onward look. Yeah, let's set the in-between frame to half opacity. And then start going for the front. Animated emote. I'm doing each frame on the same thing and then saving it as a individual PNG. Might as well save it now, just so I don't lose any progress. But yeah, I'm hoping to get it done by today, and then potentially move on to another one. Okay. Did I delete the... I didn't. Okay. Okay. How am I gonna do this though? The ear needs to be slightly similar to line up. I learned this in college, but for anything animated, you want to do it all the sketches first, and then polish it with line art and colors. It's the process. That's fair. Granted, I never learned anything about animation. I'm just kind of doing this for the funny. But that's actually, that'll probably be something I'll take into, consideration if I ever decide to do another, well, I probably do want to do that for the next one. Okay, this goes... It's at the same height. I might want to lower it just slightly. Latest animatic was in only 2 days because I used the method I learned in college, and I was hyper fixated on it. We're saying that is something I will never be able to make something of that quality, at least unless I actively practice it. Which, I guess, you know what? This is good practice. So, learning art techniques from both you and also from Lukia. I might actually become a slightly good artist because of this. First thing never swore, when it comes to art, practice does indeed make perfect. It's true. This is a bit more rounded, and that goes to a point here. Also, trying things that you may not be open to, just to see if it makes it easier for you. Yeah, that's a good point. Trying different techniques will at least know whether or not I like them, or it makes it easier. This needs to be thinner. Hold on. This needs to be much thinner. I think here, basically straight up will work. Well, yeah, if it's looking forward, the head will... Yeah, the head will clip into it. Real clip into the head, making it straighter. Ooh, hold on. I might have wanted to start with the head first then. Okay, I'm gonna do... For once, I'm gonna do the snout on a separate layer. Please don't compare yourself to me or any other artist. I guess I have been drawing for over 20 years, consistently went to college for it and everything. You're doing this entirely self-taught, which is far more impressive in my eyes. I guess. Like, I am kind of being more hard on myself than I probably should be. And I guess from your perspective, someone who is self-taught would be slightly more impressive. But in my eyes, like, people who have actually put in the work to draw, like, the stuff that you draw, or the stuff that Lucia draws, like, put in a whole bunch of time and effort, and pursue it in the form of a degree, are insanely impressive to me. Okay. Okay. I might actually want to start with the nose. It's not going to be straight up and down, because that would, I think, would clip into the bottom. I think, like, right here should work. I'll definitely make the tip of the nose. That'll work. That'll work. Make it slightly bigger. How is the eye gonna look with this, though? I mean, I could make it go off the face for, like, comedic effect, but how is the eye actually gonna look with this? I might need to actually make the snout slightly wider because of that. Alright, then... Okay. Then... Because I probably should have actually left the background on for most of this. That might have actually been a detriment to this. Well, it's only really a detriment. Like, spotting like bleed in color inside the lines. So I guess it didn't really matter. Ooh. Okay, no, the curve. Need to extend this. I can get rid of the that line later. I might have wanted to make the eyes smaller to make it fit easier. Either that or make everything else bigger. I mean, that's not impossible. I can potentially scale everything up just a little bit. Once I finish, I'll see what it looks like and then scale everything up. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I do still have like a decent chunk of room to work with as well. This will go slightly off the head. Wait, did I? Hold on. I didn't delete this ear. I did not. Okay. Let's... Okay. Then... this I can... Hey, Chroma. Welcome in. I may also want... Pro Artist War. Not exactly, but if you think it could be that way. not going to be offended by it. What are we drawing today? We are trying to draw a Borzoi. I think I mentioned it back on Master Lucia's last stream, how I was going to draw a Borzoi emote. Indeed, a spore emote. Except, as a Borzoi. Okay. I will, of course, adjust them in a second. I think by that point, the ear covers everything. Or the snout covers the other ear. So I won't worry too much about that. I'll need to turn off this group for just a second. I'll need to go back and erase some of the other lines, though. I'll turn off the neck for just a second as well, just so that I know. Just so that I know that I'm coloring everything in properly. I just thought of something. Hold on. What if I give... Obviously, it's probably going to be like... The emote is probably going to be called Borzoi. I probably should not overcomplicate things now. But... what if I added, like, a mushroom hat on it? That one I can probably just do once, and then, like, upscale it with each PNG. Or with each frame. Oh, I might do that after all, hold on. On the Slime Nation. Of course, does need the funding. I may actually erase this line. Oh. Wrong one. Put it behind the ear, behind the face. Okay. Slime's just like explore. just like Spore and Rena are cute. Rena, I believe. Myself, I do not. Oh, ooh, I do need to reset this to full opacity. Boom, 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 boom. I still need more practice with pixel art. Like Rena says, practice makes perfect. Leave it that you can get it. Sadly, I am allergic to practice. Well, that's gonna make it hard then. Not gonna lie. So I will, on purpose, not improve. Let's re-add the Mac for this. Okay. Life goals. Never improve. But for real. I do think that there is... I think we can improve, definitely. Like Rena says, it is practice. Wait, mouse is gonna be so cringe that I'm pulling for Chris Trons. Yeah, you have changed up to Chris, kind of fallen out of love with Malice, haven't you? I do remember you talking about it. Unfortunate. Deck has gotten uber boring now. I might need to make... hold on. I'm gonna make the hat a bit thinner. Like, this part a little bit thinner. Okay, I don't know. Unfortunately, I can't imagine. Just making Nightmare Griffin going second, or making Firewall going first at worst in online test versions using current MD band list. Let's set this to opacity. Oop. Doesn't account for anything else I'm doing using all the free material. Well, that is unfortunate. No, let's make it a bit more like classic Spore. Because it isn't funny, Alice is a Cybers deck, and did you know that funny Cybers cards are pretty good? On average, yeah. Even funny Cybers cards can be pretty good. Realistically, how many Cybers cards are actually bad? Outside of, like, the pack filler, how many Cybers archetypes are actually bad? Like, maybe G-Golem? Codebreaker? Something like that. Not including pack filler. Like, G-Golem is probably the worst, but even then, it can do stuff. It's just not like a one-card combo. Agnister? Even Agnister can. It dies to troll, sure. Although, that is slightly remedied by the legacy support with Malice. G-Golem is bad? I think it's the worst of the Cybers archetypes. But even then, I think it can still put up a fairly, like, mid-tier rogue level board. Okay, moment of truth. G-Golem doesn't Earthlock you, does it? Or does it just Cybers locks you? If I remember correctly. Because if you go pure Code Talker, it is pretty bad. I mean, okay, sure, it loses hard to troll. But honestly, I guess the thing is, you do need, like, at least a math mech engine to make it more competitively viable. It is how you're playing pure Code Talker. Mostly sealed. Yeah. Even then, like, G-Golem and Code Talker Pure are, like, somewhat decent rogue level strategies and, like, sealed and stuff. So even then, they still do have at least a use. Forensis isn't the greatest, I guess. I mean, sure, of the three main archetypes, it's probably the one that has... Well, no. Well, okay. Forensis isn't bad, don't get me wrong. Just not as good as other decks can be. But it isn't beating Salad or Map Deck. Not with its current legacy support, no. I mean, or at Ignister. It can. You need to have a very specific hand to do so. I think it does. Like, it does loot to some of the same hand traps that Salad and Ignister lose to Nibiru and Troll. This is weird, because if it gets set up, there's no real way to out it, outside of, like, GAMCL. If it doesn't, what, easiest win ever. And worst burns this is like marbled rock mess. Oh, I guess if, like, you don't have access to the newer, like, the Coral Reef. Coral Rock is my beloved Link 3 that barely sees play, but is honestly pretty nichely good in Marincess. Sure. It is just untouchable by battle. Nothing else. If you make it with Crystal Heart, then it becomes unaffected by stuff. Ooh. That's... okay. Actually, it can add Murren's S from grave to hand once per turn. True. And that may actually come up sometimes. It can heal itself forever, theoretically. Okay. At the very least, this will be a decent... Wait, when do I go into work? Oh. Okay, hold on. Stupid the dog has been made. Okay, I'm gonna need to... Spore has that dog in him. Two. In the future, I can make funny sport pixel emote. That'd be nice. Oh, I did. I definitely need to... But that requires me to get good. Which, you can. Cringe? Sure. But what is more cringe? Oh, no, that would be implying that you're cringe at all. Which you're not. Don't want to be good. So I think... I want to, at the very least, be passable. Let me wallow in being bad. Okay. The prototype has been made. Oh, did I get a notification? Not really. Okay. I am gonna need to feed my in-game houseplant named Deborah. I'm gonna actually need to get to work here. I lost track of time. Okay, why is there a mini spore on top of the donkey's head? So... Take care, sport, you two. I imagine you probably tabbed out for when I said this, but I got this idea from like almost a spore emote and I realized I could name the emote Borzoi. So I decided to add a little, like, spore hat. Okay, I walked into that one. No, hold on. Let us... Let's hit somewhere else. Because I need to get to work. Yeah. You know, I just looked at the, like, new cover for the, art category. I'm thinking, and that's, be safe, Swart. Have a wonderful ship. Thank you. If you are, I may drop by the Discord if you are still up at that point, but who knows? So over to you, Yukidama, a friend of Master Mukia's. Okay. I'm gonna head on over to work. I think tomorrow will be another fairly lengthy stream, if I can get up early enough. Yeah, I need to get going. Chroma, Rena, thank you so much for dropping by. Rena, thank you for the advice. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.